Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you all for joining me today, Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Got a huge show today after the big Trump surprise announcement yesterday when Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, visited the White House as the first foreign visitor to the new Trump presidency, where Trump was in a surprisingly small chair. Other people noticed that as well, as I commented on a stream yesterday. Pretty great. Not edited at all whatsoever. But Trump says the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip. He says the Palestinians all have to leave. He says they're going to build it up better than ever with Jared Kushner and their high-rise condos and Trump golf courses and a bunch of Jewish billionaires investing. And then he says it could be resettled by people in the area. We're going to cover the fallout and internet response on that. Netanyahu also gifted Trump a golden pager, symbolic of the pagers that blew up in Hezbollah. Pretty symbolic and interesting that he would do that. Trump called it a great operation. As well as, right on cue, all of the Trump apologists and the kosher so-called anti-Zionist MAGA shills are overdosing on copium and hopium and 4D chess conspiracies that Trump is actually, that Israel doesn't like this, and Netanyahu was bombarded and surprised with this announcement. Pure cope, pure bullshit to keep everybody on making mental gymnastics and bending over backwards and twisting themselves in circles to try to minimize and downplay and kick the can down on the road of Trump's beholden to Israel and Netanyahu and the Adelsons and the Jared Kushner agenda. So we played all the clips yesterday, all the highlights. If you missed them, go back and see it. The Jews are all taking their victory laps. They're memeing Trump golf course and casino coming to Gaza 2025. The apologists are also trying to shill and say that, oh, well, this is good for America. This is going to bring, wealth to America. And Trump stopping the bloodshed and all of these copes to try to excuse what this is. And this is just a step towards Israel annexing Gaza. Instead of saying it's all Israel's now, Trump is going to say, Trump is going to implicate America and have America co-sign the ethnic cleansing and land grab of Gaza. You really think America is going to keep this and say that it's our land? Our Christian Zionist government is going to say, yeah, that's America's territory. No, they say the Jews are chosen by God and God gave them the promised land and the Holy Land. And you can have it. They're going to build it all up with our troops, our money, our investments. We'll take the flack from the international community for the land grab. And then ultimately they're going to give it to Israel at some point. They'll probably build it up and then gift it to Israel and say, this is for you. God's chosen people. God gave you this land. And because of all the history of persecution, we're making it up to you by giving you this and giving you the new Ben Gurion Canal that they want to build there too, which will be incredible wealth and power for international trade. So they're memeing hard about the Trump hotels and golf courses, which, I mean, this is what they're promising. This is what Jared Kushner said in the interview months ago. We knew it was happening. Big Zionist propagandists on Twitter are posting, soon Trump Tower on the Dome of the Rock. No, he means soon they're going to destroy the dome or move it to Saudi Arabia. And Trump is going to help rebuild the temple. How messianic. Trump gets in power. He releases the captives, as in Isaiah 42 and 61. The captives are released from January 6th and from Gaza. And now Trump gets in and he's taking land, taking the Holy Land from the Muslims in Gaza. And ultimately it's going to end up going to Israel at some point. This is just a transition. It's a step towards it becoming Israel's. And they all know that. Netanyahu knew this. This is Netanyahu and Chabad and Jared Kushner's plan from the get-go. Trump didn't come up with this. So Trump's going to help rebuild the temple. He's on all the temple coins. him and Netanyahu on the war of sons of light and sons of darkness coins. Now our ships are going to be over there, our fleet, our military presence. Trump is indicating that there very well could be boots on the ground, troops in Gaza to have to clear out remaining Palestinians, because if they're still there, they're not going to want to leave, most of them. And so our military and our soldiers will be like sitting ducks, just like the prophecy the rabbis always talk about, that America and all the world will be brought to Israel and Jerusalem, and that's where the Gog and Magog and the war will happen, where Edom is destroyed. Oh, I was watching one of these rabbi videos this morning too. I almost have to do a stream and just analyze his whole video. He lays out so much stuff about Trump's role and the destruction of Edom and everything. Yeah, it is like Nakba 2.0. This Zionist propagandist Eli David says Donald Trump is the most pro-Israeli world leader since Cyrus the Great, who famously, from the book of Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, helped the Jews return to their land and rebuild the temple. So Trump's doing all these messianic things. Hillel Fold, some proud Zionist Jew account, says this all feels very messianic. I'm talking about moving all Palestinians from Gaza permanently. I'm talking about 1.7 million Gazans who will leave Gaza. They won't say no to me. Rebuilding Gaza is impossible. Palestinians in Gaza need to be permanently relocated. And then Trump says, when Trump's asked who's going to live there once they rebuild it, Trump says, people in the area, people of the world. It's going to be Jews. It's going to be Jews in the diaspora. Now, there was about 2 million Palestinians living in Gaza. So just imagine somewhere around 2 million Jews are going to make Aliyah from around the world. And Trump, how messianic, the return of the exiles, the ingathering of the exiles, one of the main messianic roles. And the Jews are all saying it. Look, 4.5 thousand likes for messianic Trump. Haaretz has an article, opinion piece, headline, Orthodox Jewish leaders are anointing Trump as a messianic leader using the language of Christian nationalism. Such an important headline. Not only are the rabbis saying Trump is messianic, but they're trying to get all of the Goyim and all the Christians to also see him as this messianic figure, as their savior that's going to be their destroyer, the Messiah of Edom that comes out of Edom and destroys Edom. The golden age of Edom, the return of the Roman Empire, the rise in power before the dramatic total destruction. When an Orthodox rabbi slid into Christian nationalist language at the presidential inauguration, it was not by chance. It is part of the same messianic politics that led an Israeli Orthodox politician to glorify Trump as a quote-unquote messenger of God for his plan to depopulate and take over Gaza. From Haaretz, from Avraham Bronstein in Haaretz. Of course, the rabbis are using Christian nationalist language because their aims are to manipulate the Christians. The whole QAnon cult is all viewing Trump as a messianic figure that ties in with all of this as well. Gigazog is coming together nicely. Remember, so now Trump is enabling Israel to get more land. Trump's also hinted many times about, yesterday we played the clip, he's like, the Middle East is the size of my desk, and Israel is the sign of this pen cap. And he goes, that's not right. How can they make Israel bigger? Eretz Israel plan. The only thing left for Trump to do is to start openly talking about how we're going to rebuild the temple. It's going to be more beautiful than ever. We're going to do it for cheaper. It's going to be amazing. It'll to commemorate the Abraham Accords. We'll have the temple for all the nations. The Noahide nations, 77 laws for the 70 nations of Esau and Ishmael, the Christians and Muslims. who have been Judaized. Isaiah 42:61 talks about freedom of the captives, the release of the prisoners, to open the eyes that are blind, to free the captives from prison and release from the dungeon those who sit in the darkness. Trump gets in and iconically releases all the January 6th protesters and the Gaza hostages. How much more weird messianic things? He pardoned the Silk Road founder as well. Dr. David, Eli David again, on Tel Aviv's main highway this morning, I need you, saying, "Thank you, Mr. President." Oh, God. And seeing all of the influencers is almost the most frustrating part. You know, they're going to do what they're doing. They're following their agenda. But then to have all of the people that are supposedly exposing them bending over backwards to make excuses, and all of how popular the QAnon copes are and the 5D chess theories. That's the biggest. What is going on? Okay. Mossad satirical accounts are just memeing on their victory. And then the watchdogs, the people, the alternative media that are supposed to be like America first and exposing Israel and Zionism, are just running cover for all of this, claiming Trump's playing 4D chess. It's turning blue. It's not going off into the ocean. It's turning blue, so that's not even true. Also, Donald Trump says during the next 4 weeks they will release and publish their plan regarding the annexation of Judea and Samaria by Israel. So they're taking all of Gaza. They're going to annex a bunch of their illegal settlements in the West Bank. And then they're going to have some shit deal with the Palestinians that they're forced into. And then they're going to be building up Gaza. There'll be some type of attack, normalization with Saudi Arabia because of the Palestinian supposed peace deal. There'll be some attack. Shit hits the fan. The West gets the rug pulled. All the Jews from America that are going to leave and make Aliyah over to Israel and their new smart city condos in Gaza. Where else is this going? The levels of chess were never dreamed possible. Trump in the small chair is just so symbolic. Trump, like the butler, like the squire boy, like the simp on the date pushing in Netanyahu's chair. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me with those type of optics. I'm trying to pull it up, my files. I think I'm going to need a new computer soon. Computer fund. I haven't even looked at the chat yet. Okay, well, that is loading. Hilarious meme that everybody else got that. Here's the actual photo. Trump's 6'3", Netanyahu's 6'1". Trump's a way bigger guy, and somehow it's like they gave him a chair with the seats are the same height, but then his seat is way lower. And I noticed this right away, and instantly what came in my head, I've been seeing this viral video all the time that has, where is that? I'm not finding, oh, there it is. Trump was on Letterman being interviewed on the Late Show to Letterman, and he's like, "This is rigged. Your chair is way higher than mine," and Trump was lower. So it's like they're doing that same trick on him. I'm going to find that right now. But tucking it in like they're on a first date or something. Has Trump ever tucked in anybody's chair like this? Pushed in their chair? Trump Letterman chairs. I'm only seeing 8-minute clips of it. We're not going to look for it like that. Okay. Remember how all of the Trump shills were going to say, oh, Trump just surrounded himself with bad people and he has more political experience now. And Jared Kushner won't be in the new administration and he's going to actually drain the swamp this time and take out the deep state. Well, I said you were all bullshitters. I said Kushner would be back. And his fingerprints are all over the new administration. Kushner was involved with the America First Policy Institution with Howard Lutnick that was involved with all the staffing of the cabinet. Michael Tracy notices the same thing. Does anyone remember the strange theory that Kushner would have no influence in the second Trump administration? Times of Israel report Jared Kushner reportedly behind Trump's proposal to take over Gaza. Of course, Jared is involved with this. Jared was his guy in the Middle East. Jared's working hand in glove with Netanyahu, and both of them with Chabad and the Adelsons and the who's who of Christian Zionists and John Hagees and crazy rabbis and going and meeting the Chabad, the Rebbe grave. Adam called Trump the groom of the stool the last bit. I know. Is Trump also going to wipe Netanyahu's butt and he does his laundry? $20 from John Garata says, great to see Adam going on other people's shows and spreading the gospel. Unfortunately, not very big shows, but we got a big debate on Friday on a good-sized show. Also, it's great to see Need More Amalek making cool compilations. I saw he sent me something, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I want to see it now. Everyone should try making mixes at least once. They're the best and fastest way to gain followers on Twitter. Have a great stream, everyone. We're going to play your new one today, too, John. I haven't watched it yet. I retweeted it, but we're going to watch it. We'll watch it live on No More News at the end here. Dead Solid Perfect for $5. No comment. Duncan Bates, $1. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Over on Rumble, the fascist New World Order official says, it's perhaps the most important thing in the world. We put these end of the world freaks in padded cell, or it could be the end of the world, literally. I know, seriously. The Judeo-apocalyptic death cult is in charge. Jared Kushner, of course, he's talking about taking over Gaza. What does he say here? Surveillance soldiers return home from hospital after release from captivity. European ministers blast U.S. president's plan unacceptable against international law. So now instead of Israel, all the attention from Israel is going to be shifted over to Trump and America, and they're the ones that are behind Gaza because Trump's taking it now. They destroyed it all, and then now they're going to rebuild it and then give it to Israel. And people are acting like Netanyahu didn't know this was going to happen, and he's freaked out, and Trump's playing art of the deal. Like, you guys are all enabling this. I think these people know it, too. We knew what the plans were. We saw Kushner was saying it in interviews after October 7th. And it's also interesting that Trump admits, he says, it looks like a demolition site. He said there's hardly a one building standing. So we're supposed to believe that Hamas had tunnels and rocket launchers underneath every single building in Gaza. They told us that they weren't carpet bombing, that there wasn't indiscriminate bombing, that they're doing targeted strikes in trying to avoid civilians. But now, the truth comes out. It's been turned to a parking lot. It's been turned to glass and rubble. Perfect. Now they can take it, blame America for it, scapegoat America, rebuild it with all their Saudi and Jewish real estate money, banker money, and occupy it with a bunch of Jews from making Aliyah, fulfilling prophecy. There's probably going to be 2 million Jews from around the world. Adam King wants to go back and get his condo in Gaza. You think he's the only one?
And then clean it up. But in Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel...
Move it out, and then they're not even saying they could come back. They're saying we want them to live permanently in Jordan and Egypt. And the whole international community is not going to go for this. This is going to make the whole world turn against America and Trump even more. And we'll be taking the blame instead of Israel because Trump is doing this move. It all benefits Israel. and all these frauds online that are supposedly critical of power and Zionism, all sweeping like jannies, like janitors, sweeping it all under the rug and giving you these delusional copium theories.
Has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward. Thing that has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward.
Well, they have now. I remember playing this before. We're going to move the people out, and I don't think Israel says they can't come back, as if they're going to believe them. Yeah, just like they had the right of return after 1948 in the Nakba.
Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward. Thing that
they haven't stated it, but they don't want them to come back. They go, they're all Hamas. Hamas can't come back, so they're not allowed. When the reporter at the press conference yesterday asked Trump if the Palestinians are going to come back or who's going to live there, he said, people of the world are going to live there. People from the area, he said. It's going to be Jews from around the world. Trump is helping facilitate the ingathering of the exiles as the Messiah entails.
That I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so that you can go in and finish the job. In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to...
Sorry, guys, you got to leave your homes because it's all been blown up. You're not safe here because we've been blowing you up too much. Wow. A bunch of Jews in diaspora are going to move to Jared Kushner high-rise condos and golfing on Trump's golf courses in Gaza, the ingathering of the exiles. Maybe around 2 million Jews going to make Aliyah to Gaza. Who else is going to want to go live on, go move and live on stolen Palestinian land? But a bunch of Jews from New York and around the world because, the narrative, the rising anti-Semitism everywhere. America's not safe. The Christian nationalism, the Jew hate, the college campuses, the internet, Elon's internet. Perfect excuse for the Aliyah. What does Mizrachi say? The Jews are all going to get, the anti-Semitism is going to rise in Edom. The Jews are all going to get up and go back to Israel. And then Hashem is going to bury America in Edom in the West. Everything has been signaled. The book has been written. We know how the story ends. We've seen all the evidence of their plan everywhere, and yet it's all unfolding and nobody's stopping it because of all the masses of gullible sheep following a bunch of grifters and disinformation agents and controlled op gatekeepers. Netanyahu gave Trump a golden pager and a regular one, like maybe one of the actual pagers that they sent Hamas, Hezbollah. Trump responded, that was a great operation. And then Trump gave Netanyahu a photo of the two of them saying, to Bibi, a great leader. Yo, 25 from Nietzschean Werewolf. Love the name. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, thanks again for doing what you do. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for getting it. Thank God. Thank Odin that somebody gets it. What? Just nowhere near enough. Way too many people like the comforting lies. It's easier to fool some people than to convince them they've been fooled. And that is a very true statement. And everybody's been fooled. Everybody falls for the Judeo lies and their false saviors. Yeah. We're going to get to the article about that. Thank Odin for Adam Green. Yes, thank the old gods. Netanyahu gifted Trump a golden pager. U.S. president says that was a great operation. Reminds me of how Greenblatt in the Knesset said it was the genius. It was genius. That's the type of genius they need to stamp out anti-Semitism. What an interesting gift. Here's a golden pager. Like, is that a threat? And reminds me of a golden pager. It's amazing. It's going to go down in biblical history of like the new Purim story, the book of the pagers. Sefer Motorola. The Sefer Motorola. That means Sefer is book, Jew in Jew talk, means book of. And it's like, are they trying to tell Trump, like, if you step out of line, we will blow you up? Is that what this is code for? Trump keeps saying, if Iran assassinates me, I've left all the directions, avenge my death by wiping them off the map, obliterating them. And Israel's like, you don't say. Like, how stupid is Trump to put a bullseye on his head? Like, what kind of death wish does Donald Trump have to say, hey, Israel, if Iran assassinates me, you're going to get what you've always wanted and get to destroy Iran? If Trump is assassinated and they do destroy Iran, that 100% is following the script of Moshiach ben Joseph, the Messiah who dies. Putin's going to get a pager too. I know, good one, conspiracy truther, I bet. Yeah, who else have they given these golden pagers to? Are you kidding me? This is like we're in a movie, a golden pager. Are they going to show us? Is there more here? I guess not. So he gave him 2 pagers, though, apparently. A golden pager. It also reminiscent of how Netanyahu has a syringe, a boxed up syringe in his office as well. It's like all of the holy artifacts of the Messiah's conquering of Edom and the facilitating of Gog and Magog, all of the holy relics, the pagers, the needles. Netanyahu's like a Bond villain. I know, seriously. Here's some of the Christian press secretary's comments about Gaza today.
On Gaza, the president has spent basically his entire public career criticizing foreign entanglements, nation building, sending American troops to fight abroad, particularly in the Middle East. This plan seems like it could ultimately involve all of those things. Can you explain this reversal and how building and owning Gaza squares with America First foreign policy?
I would reject the premise of your question that this forces the United States to be entangled in conflicts abroad. The president has not...
Hold on. Conquering Gaza is not entangling us with the rest of the world in the Middle East? Dude, are you kidding me? Oh, it's not an entanglement to steal Gaza. It's not going to piss anybody off. Nobody's even going to care. Remember what Trump said yesterday? He said, everybody I talk to thinks it's a great idea. It's like, because you're talking to a bunch of Zionist Jews. You need to talk to some different people, Trump, if everybody thinks that this is a great idea. He's like, Kushner and Bibi love it. John Hagee loves it. Boleslaw says, if you thought of starting a Telegram channel or a Discord server or something like that, I should try a Discord server. I got my hands full, honestly. I should not. I should finish my book before I'd start any servers and spend any time in servers. But maybe one day that could be fun. I do have a Telegram channel too. But I pretty much just post links to the live streams and the shows. I don't post like I do on Twitter. The Race First White Pagan Club says, hail Odin, fuck Donnie. Weezin the Jew says, thank Odin for Adam Green. All right. Let's see. Stinging Metal says, and they call Iran the religious theocracy. The rabbi I was seeing today, the insane genocidal rabbi, was saying that, those religious extremists in Muslim countries. Like, he's calling Muslims religious extremists. It just blows my mind, the lack of self-awareness.
This forces the United States...
Building and owning Gaza squares with America First foreign policy?
I would reject the premise of your question that this forces the United States to be entangled in conflicts abroad. The president has not committed to putting boots on the ground in Gaza. He has also said that the United States is not going to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. His administration is going to work with our partners in the region to reconstruct this region. And let me just take a step back here, because this is an out-of-the-box idea. That's who...
So Kushner's Saudi billion, Saudi fund is going to help them rebuild it up, all smart city style. Enrico says, Burrell, that's one of the Jews on Twitter, says, I'm buying a condo in Gaza. Adam King's response, such small-minded mentality. A condo, I'm building a beachfront mega mansion with a dock. Oh, on Twitter he said that. Big Mama, my sugar mama, Big Mama for 50 says, Adam, Viking blood for sure. It is such a joy watching you unintentionally intimidating the Adam Kings of the world. Adam King's not intimidated. He thinks Jews are crushing and got it in the bag and the Goyim don't have a chance. And can you blame him? He sees how much traction we're getting. He sees the retarded Christians not understanding that I'm right and calling me Jewish and coping and then worshiping the Jewish Messiah. He gets it.
President Trump
Thank you,
is.
Big Mama.
That's why the American people elected him to pay for the rebuilding of Gaza. His administration is going to work with our partners in the region to reconstruct this region. And let me just take a step back here, because this is an out-of-the-box idea. That's who President Trump is. That's why the American people elected him. And his goal is lasting peace in the Middle East for all people in the region. And as I said in my opening remarks, we've had the same people pushing the same solutions to this problem for decades. And it's been made very clear to the president that the United States needs to be involved in this rebuilding effort to ensure stability in the region for all people. But that does not mean boots on the ground in Gaza. It does not mean American taxpayers will be funding this effort. It means Donald Trump, who is the best deal maker on the planet, is going to strike a deal with our partners in the region.
Going to be very interesting. Time will tell to see how this turns out. But there's no way that America is going to keep Gaza indefinitely. Our Zionist, Christian Zionist government that thinks that's the Holy Land and that if you divide the Holy Land, that America will be cursed. Like we're gonna claim that's our territory. No way in hell. Israel is going to ultimately get that at some point. Undoubtedly.
Confirm that the president...
BBC, can you confirm that under the president's plans for Gaza, any and all Palestinians who want to stay in Gaza on their land will be allowed to do so?
I can confirm that the president is committed to rebuilding Gaza and to temporarily relocating those who are there, because as I've showed you repeatedly...
He didn't say temporarily. He said he hopes they won't want to come back. And who's going to live there? He didn't say the Palestinians that have been displaced. He says people of the world and people in the area. That means Jews are going to go there. You think the Jews are going to let a bunch of Palestinians just go buy a bunch of shit? They'll be like, it's all in the free market, and then they'll only lease it and sell it to other Jews. Woos us for 20. That's a new name. Says, Adam, your voice is more important now than ever. Blows my mind how you aren't getting the recognition you deserve for the work you've put in. Looking forward to the book. Thank you, Woos us. That's very kind and very true. Very true. And that's by design. That's by design. The people that are actually getting the truth out are going to be the most slandered, the most gatekept, the most misrepresented, the most drowned out. The shills and the gatekeepers are the ones that are going to be the most astroturf and go on all the big shows and have their stuff allowed to go viral when other people are suppressed and shadow banned and completely banned. That's obviously the way systematically that it's working. General commentary says, hail Adam, hail chat, excellent work with Gnostic Informant. Thanks, buddy. I'm glad you guys like it. He's good at exposing
It is a demolition site. There is no running water. There is no electricity. The president wants these individuals to live in peace. He is committed to doing that with this very bold new plan, and we will continue to keep you apprised of updates as we receive them.
BBC, can you confirm that under the president's plans for Gaza...
All right, so now we're going to get into the copiums, okay? So frustrating to see, like, everything I've been warning about for years since Trump first got into office 8 years ago. Trump is the ultra-Zionist. They want to rebuild the temple. They see him as a messianic figure. There's Jared Kushner, there's Abad, Netanyahu, Adelson's, the whole shebang for 8 years. Okay? Saying Trump's going to return to power. He's going to go in as a martyr and a victim, and everybody's going to think he's the savior. And the more he's attacked, the more popular and cult-like following he's going to get. And everybody's going to be desperate for a savior to save America and save the world and take out the deep state and save us from World War III and save Christianity in Israel. And he gets back in with the most Zionist cabinet ever. A secretary of defense that literally is meeting with Netanyahu and Third Temple rabbis in Israel saying he wants to rebuild the Third Temple. Our defense secretary. I said they're going to take Gaza. I said that they're going to annex Judea and Samaria, as they call it, the West Bank, and force some deal, have some sham deal with Palestine that it's going to allow the normalization, and then ultimately it's going to fall apart and shit's going to go down with Iran and Russia. That's their plan. I hope I'm wrong, but everything is unfolding. And you don't even have to be like a prophet or like, if you just seen all the material that I've seen and seen so many rabbi clips and known what their prophecies are and seen it from the full spectrum dominance playing out everywhere. And then it happens and Trump just keeps groveling and it gets worse and worse. And now he's taking Gaza for them, doing all this shit in the first 2 weeks for Israel, anti-Semitism executive orders and all of it. And then the top 2 tweets that I see in response to Netanyahu taking Trump taking Gaza for Netanyahu is these copes from guys that just popped up in the last year or so and explode to 1 million followers and are in the studio at InfoWars shilling for Trump, and RFK, who's another ultra-Zionist, went and visited Chabad like Trump did, and Shmuley Boteach's buddy, RFK. He says, I can't help but notice Trump doesn't look like anybody told Netanyahu. Netanyahu's been blindsided. Netanyahu's so screwed now because of Trump. Can you fucking believe this? It got 31,000 likes, 2.3 million views. Supposed body language experts that think Netanyahu is disturbed by Trump saying that they're going to take Gaza and rebuild it. As if this wasn't his plan to begin with. Give me a fucking break. This 4D chess Trump apologetics is just so goddamn annoying. Clint Russell also, he's like in with Luke Radowski and Tim Pool and all these Zionist shills. He says, this is interesting. Bibi seems none too pleased as Trump talks about the U.S. owning Gaza. Yeah, they're not pleased. Netanyahu is grinning ear to ear all afternoon, and you're saying he's not pleased. He's giving him golden pagers. He's getting his seat pushed in for him. Trump is taking Gaza and rebuilding it to ultimately give it to Israel, and he fucking knows it. You think he's negotiating against Netanyahu in real time? You are out of your mind. 13.7 thousand likes. 1.7 million views from this bullshit. This bullshit copium. Totally running cover for all the kosher shit Trump just did yesterday. Libertarian accounts are Russian ops. I wouldn't be surprised. Literally sweeping. While Trump gives everything to Israel, pretending that Trump is playing art of the deal. And Netanyahu is just freaking out because of this. You got to be kidding me. Ian Carroll's video doing the same thing, 16,000 likes. Sharon, this girl, he says, I agree. I do not think Israel wants this outcome. Oh, yeah, Israel totally isn't in on this. They totally don't want this. Israel is so pissed off that Trump just is going to kick out all the Gazans and then America can be scapegoated for it. Andrew Tate also says he's giving Trump the benefit of the doubt. He simply made it clear nobody gets the land unless they convince him and act how he wants. It's negotiation at play. Bullshit. All of these astroturfed, never censored, botted, brought on all the, in InfoWars studio. Yeah, Netanyahu is just so pissed off by Trump right now over this. Right, guys? So we're not totally owned by Netanyahu, and Trump isn't a total pawn of Israel. He's really art of the dealing him. Benjamin Netanyahu here saying, "You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House." Posted yesterday. Yair Netanyahu, his son, says, America taking Gaza next to Israel, he says he loves it. You think they're just pretending to love it? Enough of this shit. Ian Carroll, Clint Robertson, anybody else doing this four-dimensional chess bullshit copes, pretending like the Israelis aren't ultimately going to get this, are either retarded or paid liars. Instigator says, I've been seeing a lot of people wake up to the JQ, but not on the theological control. Either way, I ain't getting any credit like always. I'm not that way, so here's some credit for you, Adam. Thank you, Instigator. Appreciate that. Freely99 says, first time catching a live stream, wondering, do you believe Israel was behind 9/11? In short, yes. Spartan Sarduker says, Trump totally owned Netanyahu and when he licked his ass clean. Right. I know. Retarded paid liars, yeah? It's so pathetic, too. These posts, they're being astroturfed. They're being botted, too. And then all the gullible sheep that go with the herd fall for it and go, yeah, maybe they are. This is interesting. All these delusional theories to lie about what's right in front of your face. Look at this. Does this look like Trump is bending Bibi's arm? You think Bibi's stressed out about this at all? He was grinning the whole time. This is them walking into the Oval Office with Netanyahu. Lutnick, Witkoff, Hegseth, J.D. Vance. Like, the way the QAnon copes go, that you're pretending like Trump is actually like working to dismantle and destroy Israel while he's actually handing over everything to them is such sophisticated inversion information warfare that everybody's engaged in online here. Yeah, that's their music. Here's Hegseth, wants to rebuild the temple. He's got all these Christian tattoos. Just loves Netanyahu. It's Christianity in America is what's ultimately facilitating all of this. And then these so-called anti-Zionist Christians online are busy all day sweeping for them and running cover, attacking pagans and anybody that criticizes Christianity. They are enabling all of this. Did we miss the tuck-in at the end? Wow. I've never seen more of a bitch move in my life. Guys, hey men out there, have you ever pushed in the chair for another man? Nope. I never have. Guaranteed. A woman maybe. My wife, a girl on a date, my mom. Like, who's in charge? Give me a break. Pete Hegseth greets Netanyahu at the Pentagon. Yeah. Secretary of Defense that wants to rebuild the temple. Yeah, I'm sure Netanyahu totally is scared of Trump. Trump's really working to destroy Israel. All of them. So the whole cabinet's full of ardent Zionists. When Trump first won the election and started announcing who his nominees were, Israel, they said that Israel was like dancing on their tables. U.S. Army recruitment skyrockets under Trump, highest in 15 years. Well, hey, at least everybody wants to join the military to go die in wars for Israel, thanks to Trump. All the sheep are enlisting now, apparently, to Pete Hegseth. Only Trump could get all the sheep and all the Americans to want to go die in Gog and Magog for Israel. My wife, Borat. Here's National Security Advisor Mike Waltz confirms Trump's proposal to take over Gaza.
It's in some places
and what
like
that means.
I mean, you have literally nearly 2 million people living in a place that has thousands and thousands of unexploded ordnance and bombs. It's in some places like a minefield. You have buildings that are collapsing and unsafe. You have no sewage, no running water.
It's weird how in all of this they're like completely confessing that like Israel has just laid waste to this whole city. John Fitzgerald for 20 says, Adam, you are helping me stay sane. I totally get that because you guys are helping me stay sane, honestly. The few people that get it online are keeping me from going absolutely crazy. Every day I wake up more and more like I'm in a movie. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And I'm not the only one. I know you guys feel like Adam Green sometimes too. I've been made aware that sometimes you guys feel like Adam Green.
It's become completely unlivable with this war that Hamas started on October 7th. And I, as a veteran...
Yeah. The conflict started October 7th. Forget everything that happened before that.
It is despicable and sad that groups like Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS literally sacrifice the lives and the livelihoods of their own people to achieve some type of ideological gain. But I think what the president is just acknowledging is we've been looking at this over the last weeks and months, and frankly, he's been thinking about it since October 7th, and that war is... You know, everybody's heart breaks for the Palestinian people across the region, and rightly so. But he's not seeing any realistic solutions on how those miles and miles and miles of debris are going to be cleared, how those, essentially unexploded bombs are going to be removed, how these people are physically going to live for at least a decade, if not longer, it's going to take to do this. So the fact that nobody has a realistic solution, and he puts some very bold, fresh, new ideas out on the table, I don't think should be criticized in any way. I think it's going to bring the entire region to come with their own solutions.
The solution is that they're going to rebuild it with Jewish and Saudi money, and a bunch of Jews are going to make Aliyah and go live there in nice brand new homes in a smart super city on the beach. And then they're going to ultimately give it to Israel once all is said and done. That's what's going to happen, and everybody knows it. Let's go back to some of these more coping things, like this girl. Look at this. Come on. Some pretty-looking girl with filled-up lips, with all her makeup on, just speaking with those sweet, soft lips to all the gullible goyim out there, telling you, oh, hey, guys, don't believe your lying eyes. Trump isn't a pawn to Israel and selling out our country and giving Israel everything at once. No, he's actually, he's pulling a fast one on him.
On Truth Social. So this might be the thing.
And by the reason I even saw this girl, Lauren Lee, 56,000 followers, is because Ian Carroll here, this new guy that just popped up with 1 million followers, says he agrees. I do not think Israel wants this outcome. Come on. Do you guys realize how bad this is going to age? I don't know. Maybe listen to the people that were talking about Trump 8 years ago and have been right about all of this. Not the new guys being astroturfed by Alex Jones telling you, oh, it's not as bad as it looks. Actually, Trump's really big. Let's just hope.
canceled over, and that is completely okay because clearly. So this might be the thing I get canceled over, and that is completely okay because clearly my position is the opposite of the entire internet right now. I am totally shocked at how many of you actually believe that Netanyahu is literally just handing over land to Donald Trump as if he hasn't been fighting for it and shedding blood for it.
She's spinning this that Netanyahu is handing land over to Donald Trump. No, bitch. Donald Trump is handing land over to Israel. This is so Israel can take it.
For decades.
Already with the start. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it.
Clearly my position is the opposite of the entire internet right now. I am totally shocked at how many of you actually believe that Netanyahu is literally just handing over land to Donald Trump as if he hasn't been fighting for it and shedding blood for it for decades and using Gaza as his pawn to justify genocide and atrocities and constant aggression to surrounding countries, and refuses us, his closest ally, Iron Dome technology, and bombs our US warships and then covers it up, colluding with our government. You really think that he's okay with us moving in next door and occupying the land that he has fought for so long and terrorized the entire Middle East over? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but
dude, she really expects people to believe that America is going to keep Gaza indefinitely and that this isn't a transition for Israel, for us to hand it over to Israel, just like they did with the British mandate in 48 with Israel. First, the British took it. It was their territory. And then they ceded it to Israel and let Israel declare independence. Same type of thing. They couldn't just say, this is so much better for Israel than just saying, Israel, it's all yours. You can have it. Now America gets blamed. It's America's going to go in and clean up their mess now. Hey, are we making America great again, or are we making Gaza great again for Israel?
Trump is awake. He is fully awake to the control AIPAC has on our government.
Trump's totally awake to all the Zionist guys. The 100 million from Adelson totally woke up Trump. He's anti-Zionist. Trump is secretly anti-Zionist.
The fact that our war in Iraq was completely the fault of Netanyahu. In fact, listen to this clip.
Oh, he totally knows it was Netanyahu, and that's why he appointed Pete Hegseth, the guy that was shilling the war in Iraq with Lindsey Graham and John McCain. That's why that's our new Secretary of Defense, the Iraq war pusher.
This is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, literally fully exposing Netanyahu to the world.
That war came from Netanyahu, actually. You know that? It's weird. And the way it is.
So Trump retweets the Tucker Carlson pro-Russia criticism of Israel angle. He retweets some other account, Wall Street. Do we even know that Trump watched this whole video? Oh, you really think that Trump is sharing videos to take digs at Netanyahu and blame Netanyahu for stuff? Trump is not you really think Trump is going to come out and blame Netanyahu for Iraq?
That Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling the governments that support them.
So you guys tell me how, given the current state of Israeli occupation of the U.S. government through AIPAC, through lobbying, through Hollywood, through pretty much every possible method of control.
You see, this is the thing. It's oh, they expose Jews. Look, she's calling out AIPAC and Hollywood and Netanyahu, but then she gets you to get behind Trump, their Zionist pawn, by pretending that Trump is against Israel. Are we really supposed to believe that Trump is against Israel, guys? Saving Israel for last. It's like the Q shit has just gone a little bit more mainstream with all of this new crop of influencers. And she goes, this is totally not popular on the internet. This is the most popular take after yesterday. This is why we're so cooked, because this is what they're all saying. I showed you the numbers on these. Friendly Misanthrope says, this is why I'm a misanthrope. Thank you, buddy. 10 from Valentine Lagoyette says, isn't Trump supposed to turn on Israel at some point, though? Anyway, how the fuck will America end up owning a foreign country? We're not going to own it. They're going to give it to Israel. You have to be retarded to not think this is just a temporary thing until it's handed over to Israel. You can't see it happening. Our Zionist politicians, like, God gave you the land. We're giving this to you. We hear you can have the canal, the new Ben Gurion canal we built for you, and all of this new, beautiful, brand new city on the Mediterranean. Here you go. To make up for all your history of being God's hated people and persecuted everywhere. Here, we gift this to you. It's your land anyway. God gave it to you. That's what's going to happen. Give me a fucking break. Watcher for 5 says, oy vey, clean this shit up, Goyim. Optics Prime says, black pill. Take, we funded the demolition and gave them the explosives, so technically we are on the hook for the cleanup since it's our bombs. We're going to get scapegoated for all of it. You can already see it. United States of chair pusher, says Optics Prime. General commentary says, reminds me of the picture of Kissinger and Prescott Bush, or the pic of Rothschild poking Prince Charles in the chest. They did the same thing with Trump a few months ago. They played some old clip where, like, Trump didn't see that Netanyahu was trying to shake his hand, and they played it as if it was new. Volca Spirit says, the desperation some people have for a savior is hard to comprehend. Right. It could just be their coping mechanism. They're lying to themselves as a coping mechanism. General commentary says the chair scene with Trump and Netanyahu will live forever. I know. Iconic.
Through branding itself as our closest ally. How should we contain Netanyahu? Like, give me some ideas, since you're so triggered seeing Donald Trump standing next to Netanyahu and seeing the Israeli flag in the background.
You're like so triggered that you see an Israeli flag in the background. Sorry, I don't want to be mean to this girl, but I'm just so sick of this 4D QAnon bullshit.
How should we contain Netanyahu? Like, give me some ideas, since you're so triggered seeing Donald Trump standing next to Netanyahu and seeing the Israeli flag in the
You're so triggered by the Israeli flag.
background. You're so emotionally triggered that now you think there's some grand collusion and some grand...
Oh, no, there's no collusion, Goyam. There's no collusion between Trump and the Zionists. He's totally against them. Look at you're just triggered by the flag.
Opposed to some actual strategy, some presidential strategy to contain Netanyahu. You tell me how, in this environment, we're supposed to confront and deal with Israel. It's really funny to me that so many of you claim to call out the Zionists and see through all of this kind of stuff, but yet you're not seeing that Zionists are going to be absolutely furious that the U.S. is going to be occupying Gaza, stabilizing the region.
Yeah, they're totally furious. That's why Netanyahu's son is celebrating, and that's why they have the big thank you sign, and that's why they're doing all their memes about the takeover of Gaza. Is Adam King furious? He's like, yes, he's going to go back and get his condo. Hold on. Do you see this type of shit? Can you guys believe that? Ian Carroll says he agrees with her. You guys are just triggered by the Israeli flag, and like, you guys think you oppose the Zionists? Like, well, look at my lips, Goyam. You guys think Trump is not anti-Zionist? You guys like totally don't get it.
And deal with Israel. It's really funny to me that so many of you claim to call out the Zionists and see through all of this kind of stuff, but yet you're not seeing that Zionists are going to be absolutely furious that the U.S. is going to be occupying Gaza, stabilizing.
They're absolutely, you guys can't tell that the Zionists are absolutely furious right now? Are you serious? You guys think you oppose the Zionists, but you don't know that Trump's secretly waging war against the Zionists while he just appears to give them to be the biggest Shabbos Goy slave and servant like in the history of America? You guys just don't see it. Move on, please. You can't handle anymore.
the region.
Ma'am, I just want a large coffee. That's funny.
Donald Trump very clearly Israel. It's really funny to me that so many of you claim to call out the Zionists and see through all of this kind of stuff, but yet you're not seeing that Zionists are going to be absolutely furious that the U.S. is going to be occupying Gaza, stabilizing.
Sounds like some controlled opposition bullshit would say.
The region. Donald Trump very clearly said the majority of people living in this area after we completely restore it will be Palestinian.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said people of the world. It's going to be Jews that are living there. Maybe some Palestinians will go to like mow the lawns and like be their Shabbos Goy servants. That's about it.
Be a safe place for people of all faiths. There are so many logical inconsistencies and
all faiths, all the Christians and Jews and Muslims will live in peace there.
That you would have to make in order to say that this is intentional collusion and ethnic cleansing. It's not even funny. I am shocked that the people who are actually awake to the history of what's going on here. And
there's no collusion and ethnic cleansing. You're just like triggered by the Israeli flag. And you don't know that Trump's secretly like so anti-Zionist and the Zionists totally hate Trump and that he just took over Gaza for them.
You know that Donald Trump has exposed Netanyahu are now freaking out just because they're a little triggered by the Israeli flag.
You're just like a little triggered by the flag. What is this shit? Ian Carroll is co-signing this bullshit?
People just need to settle down, let the dust settle, look at the facts.
Look at the facts. Look at the last 8 years of Trump. Look at those facts.
React emotionally. You know, really ask yourself, what does a containment policy of...
Don't worry, Goy. Go back to sleep, Goyam.
21st century. If it's not what Trump is doing now, what is it? I would love to know. Because even Ian Carroll, ratioing me last night to hell and back... seems to have had a change of heart within 24 hours.
Oh, I guess you're both fucking retarded then if you think the Zionists totally hate this.
I think when you look at the facts...
Yeah, Ian Carroll came on the scene, blew up on TikTok like within the last year. Maybe maybe shortly before October 7th.
See that there is... there's many layers to this situation, and you can't just go blow up your alliance, right, on a world stage and say alliances mean nothing and deal with the fallout and the consequences of blowing up your alliance with Israel. You obviously have to act a little bit more strategically. But I agree with Trump that massive action needs to be taken. The two-state solution has not worked for decades. We have seen constant death.
Okay, there's your Zionist propaganda. The two-state solution hasn't worked for decades. Yeah, because of Israel. They don't want it to work. She's literally doing Zionist talking points now at this point.
Genocide and war. And this is a man, Trump has achieved peace in the Middle East before.
Oh, he totally did. He's done a really great job at bringing peace, huh? Having his Jared Kushner normalization with countries they weren't even at war with.
Which is very few things. It is his ability to negotiate peace. So I think everyone needs to calm down. If you guys want to cancel me, that's completely fine. But
You're canceled.
I'm very proud of Trump for blindsiding Netanyahu, for announcing that we're securing the region for the Palestinians.
So now we're just claiming, just based on looking at Netanyahu's expression on a video, that he was blindsided. Does anybody in their right mind believe Netanyahu didn't know about this? This is probably Netanyahu and Jared Kushner were planning this for years, I would bet. This has been the plan since before October 7th. She's canceled. Ian Carroll canceled.
And for people of all faiths to return it to a place of security, which it was for many, many years. Actually, peace and security in this region was the norm. And we can get back there. I truly, wholeheartedly believe that. And I encourage people who are awake to the Zionist occupation of the United States
to get behind Donald Trump.
Take a different tune.
Take a different tune. Hey, all you people awoke to the Zionists, take a different tune. Rick Wiles is pushing the same lies and propaganda. Dude, they all do, man. They all do. All these guys trying to tell you Trump is playing 4D chess. I'm going to look up Rick Wiles, his tweets.
This whole situation and be a voice of reason. I think people have to actually think for themselves.
A voice of reason.
Independent thinkers.
Be an independent thinker. Don't be triggered by the Israeli flag. Trump's just being strategic. The Zionists totally hate that he's taking over Gaza to give it to them later.
Think through all the facts, right? So, okay, anyway, with that, I'm logging off.
Look at this. Look at this. Rick Weil says, commentators and podcasters are missing what happened yesterday. Trump took Gaza from Netanyahu and ended the slaughter of children. Total surprise. USA owns Gaza and marine gas field. Trump will make Israel a U.S. state. Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? Bibi's days are numbered. Yeah, Bibi's totally on the rocks, guys. Yeah, he also says they're Khazars. I mean, Christian-controlled op. What else do you need to see? Bibi's days are numbered. Dude, Bibi's more iconic and famous now than ever what he's accomplished with Donald Trump. What a joke. What a joke. Always, you know, with the Christians, shilling for Trump, shilling for Putin. I can't even say I'm surprised. See, his anti-Zelensky stuff. There you go. Like pure Russia. That was Lauren Lee. Amazing. Look, APAC Tracker, a big account, is calling out Ian Carroll, says, what the fuck is this? He says, the benefits of the U.S. would be incalculable if to take Gaza. From the profits of rebuilding to the oil and gas resources in there, all that's going to Israel, dude. Don't kid yourself. To defanging Israel and breaking their monopoly on the global narrative. What the fuck are you talking about? None of that is happening. To having even more American military presence in the region. What, so they can go and get in a war with Iran and Russia like the rabbis want? Everybody coming to Israel so there's a big war? You're not endorsing it. You're just sweeping for it. But from a businessman's perspective, plenty of economic and geopolitical gain for Israel. Do you guys want to watch his video? He said he does the same thing too. Unpopular opinion. Hey, everybody, don't call me a total sellout and a shill and a Trump apologist. Should I play this or should I move? Do you guys want to watch Ian Carroll's Cope video or should we just go to the rabbi video and hear what he has to say? It's embarrassing. Volkish spirit. Let me know what you think. Profits rebuilding. It will pay. Yeah, it's going to be our. I don't know that I'm sure it'll be some of our tax dollars. Definitely, our military are backing the enabling of it. But they're probably going to get investments from. They're going to give the land to their wealthy buddies, and they're going to get to make all the buildings. They're going to profit from it. Trump got $230 million from various Israel lobbies. Yeah. Who's going to go? It's going to be American soldiers in our bombs now that are going to expel the remaining Palestinians that are there. Trust the plan. Okay, we'll play it.
Is the part that doesn't make this video is going to be so popular. There's no winning here.
It's going to be so unpopular.
This video is going to be
because it's bullshit.
There's no winning here. So yesterday, Trump announced that he wants to send American troops to take Gaza for America. And at first glance, this is like Bibi's wet dream, and he seems like he's eating it up because this has been the plan all along. They were never here for peace. They never wanted the hostages.
At first
they
glance.
wanted to flatten Gaza and colonize it with more Israeli settlers until eventually Gaza is no more. Then they can turn to the West Bank and deal with that. And Americans have been kicked in the dick by Israel so many times for so long that it makes perfect sense.
That's it. You should have just ended the video there. Now we got 9 more minutes of, but it could be this. Trump could be doing this. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's not as it seems.
To just take that read of the situation. Trump has accepted huge amounts of money from Zionists like the Adelsons. He's got all kinds of Zionist ties. He's proclaimed his allegiance to Israel many, many times. But
there's no but, dude. There's no but. Just end it there. See, this is like this disclosure. Like they have to say what everybody knows, and then they give you the spin to get you back on board, to corral you back into backing Trump and not getting angry about what's transpired.
For what we see in the world, you have to actually see what is actually happening. Every little thing about it has to be explained by your thesis.
You gotta actually see, man. You guys don't see it right. You gotta look deeper, man.
Something that's not explained by it, then your thesis might be wrong, because the real explanation for what's really going on explains everything that's going on. And if there's something off, you should look at that. Before we get too deep into this, let's be clear. I am not optimistic. I am super concerned. Either that Trump is going to do a half-assed job of this and then Israel will swoop in and continue what they started, or that Trump is playing everybody and it's really just a play for his donors from Israel and it's actually just an Israel thing. But there are pieces of what's going on here that point to a bigger play that we should all at least be aware of. And one can hope. Okay, so
there's your hopium. We can all have hopium. Limited hangout. Ian falls into that libertarian Russian ops group I was talking about earlier. Spin is what fags do. Word salad. Yeah.
Here is...
Hold on. Volkish Spirit says they are trying hard to redirect disillusioned people that are on the verge of waking up back to the Zog system through Trump. Totally.
The part that doesn't make sense. Trump and Bibi's relationship has been strained lately. It's been weird. Trump has recently reshared Jeffrey Sachs calling Netanyahu a deep, dark son of a bitch. Trump has snubbed Bibi on a number of occasions, and Bibi did not attend Trump's inauguration after Trump said some stuff that maybe caused some friction. It's hard to say. And then
snubs him on multiple occasions.
It doesn't look like Trump told Bibi about this announcement before the press conference where he announced it. Here, check this out.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
It doesn't look like it.
We will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site, and get rid of the...
Obviously, you got to watch that for yourself.
He doesn't even do anything.
Bibi.
He doesn't even look uncomfortable. He was smiling. Maybe he was trying to like not smile too hard, if anything. That's why they give you the limited quote unquote base talking points and then redirect. Zero Hedge is another one. Oh yeah, we know about them.
He's trying to stay behind a poker face. It's hard to tell what he's thinking. But
exactly.
Based on body language, I think there's at least a reasonable chance that he didn't know about this in advance.
Dude, what's with this? Oh, maybe he didn't know. Look at his body language. Maybe he didn't know. Maybe Trump just blindsided him. This is such bullshit. Don't believe your lying eyes, Goyam. That's what this seems like to me.
And if that's true, it kind of forces a reassessment of what's going on.
It's not. You're basing all the rest of this video off that bullshit premise that he didn't know. Come on.
Let's do our best to step into Trump's shoes and look at this from something like his perspective and try to figure out what he thinks is going on. And I'm not saying I endorse this, and I'm not saying that I think that Trump is right. I don't have a good solution, because any solution where you let Palestine and Israel keep doing what they're doing will inevitably end in more bloodshed. It just will. Either you move all the Jews out and you get rid of Israel, and that's full of bloodshed and problems, or you let Israel...
Yeah, like that's what's going to happen. Like that's the plan. Like that's the option.
Ethnically cleanse and genocide Gaza, and that's duh. And so what Trump is doing is he's stepping in and putting the American military in Gaza and taking Gaza as an American space. And if you really think about it, that actually takes a huge amount of power away from Israel if you do that with a uncorrupted American government.
We've got a Zion. Good thing our government's not corrupted by Zionists. I'm sure no problem there, right? Dude. Why is anybody pretending that America is going to keep this Gaza indefinitely? They're not. No way in hell America is going to take Gaza and that's going to be our territory. You kidding me? Our kosher politicians are going to give that to them as fast as possible.
Be uncorrupted, you'd have to do things like shut down USAID, hamstring the CIA, arrest Jeffrey Epstein, you know?
Epstein's arrest. Dude, Epstein is Trump is blackmailed in the Epstein network. You're not going to get the whole thing exposed. Hey man, they arrested Epstein, so like maybe Trump took down Epstein. Come on. They were best friends for years, according to Epstein. There's photographs. He's all in the black book. He was named by Maria Farmer. And we're supposed to believe that Trump is part of some now we're taking out the pedos and the Zionists all secretly. Get the fuck out of here.
That actually takes a huge amount of power away from Israel if you do that with a uncorrupted American government. In order to be uncorrupted, you'd have to do things like shut down USAID, hamstring the CIA, arrest Jeffrey Epstein, you know? You'd also have to expose their media control over the narrative so that way we can have an accurate assessment of what's really going on over there. And if you did all that and put American boots on the ground in Gaza, not only would Israel no longer be able to raid Palestinian homes in the middle of the night and take children prisoners.
No, my TikTok's watcher says if only Adam was allowed to blow up on the algorithm like this Carol guy. No, I only had a huge YouTube channel. I was banned 5 years ago. It really started to blow up like 2 years before that. So 7 years ago, I had over 100,000 followers, and I get banned, and my TikTok gets banned and suppressed and doesn't ever get picked up. But all of his basic bitch conspiracy, for the longest time, they were all completely kosher too. He blew up on TikTok like covering GameStop and like just your basic bitch conspiracy stuff. But yeah, obviously, some narratives are propped up and astroturfed and go on all the big shows and expose the actual conspiracy and the Jesus deception and Trump as a Zionist pawn, and you get suppressed and shadow banned and slandered and blacklisted and all of the above.
They wouldn't be able to carpet bomb civilian infrastructure because it'd be full of Americans. They wouldn't be able to block foreign aid into the country because it would be Americans. They wouldn't be able to gang rape Palestinians because they'd be protected by Americans. They wouldn't be able to occupy and continue.
There's no Palestinians to protect. The Americans are going to be kicking the rest of the Palestinians out and rebuilding it when they can't come back. What is this fast-talking bullshit?
Prisoner for no reason. They wouldn't be able to carpet bomb civilian infrastructure because it'd be full of Americans. They wouldn't be able to block foreign aid into the country because it would be Americans. They wouldn't be able to gang rape Palestinians because they'd be protected by Americans. They wouldn't be able to occupy and continuously settle more and more land, at least in Gaza. Potentially not in the West Bank because it would be Americans. And Hamas, which is...
What? They're going to annex more of the West Bank. The illegal settlements in the West Bank. What the fuck is he talking about now? None of that's going to happen. America's taking Gaza to ultimately give it to Israel.
Propped up by Israel and the corrupt deep state here in order to continue and perpetuate this conflict would no longer be in control in order to perpetuate this conflict because it would be Americans. And in an ideal world, it would be fucking Palestinians. And the Israelis would have never even moved in and tried to take all this land for themselves, dating all the way back to like 1900. But that's, we're past that part. But until Trump reveals his buddy Tesla's time machine and we go back and like erase the ballot, we can't undo what has been done. We have to deal with the present situation, and we have to try to find a solution that has the least bloodshed possible. And while there are some serious colonial and ethnic cleansing concerns of moving all the Palestinians out and rebuilding the whole place in like an American image and allegedly allowing them to move back in, which I am super skeptical of, not to mention even theorizing that they're going to leave willingly in the first place. Like, it sounds like we're about to have American troops fighting Hamas to try to get Palestinians to leave. Because why the fuck would they trust Trump when they say, oh yeah, we'll build it back better for you and then let you come?
Yeah, and the Zionists are totally pissed about this, like you said, like your girl said.
Theorizing that they're going to leave willingly in the first place. Like, it sounds like we're about to have American troops fighting Hamas to try to get Palestinians to leave. Because why the fuck would they trust Trump when they say, oh yeah, we'll build it back better for you and then let you come back? Like, they have no reason to believe that. But this is a super hypothetical, but it's worth considering. Okay, and I'm not saying I think this is the most likely or this is real or true. I'm just saying that it's worth considering. If you really wanted to deal with Israel's influence over the United States, you would have to deal with their influence at home by dismantling their blackmail networks, by exposing their media corruption, and by getting rid of all of the complex, interconnected traitorous kind of like dealings that are happening behind the scenes. And we have seen progress towards that point, no less the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein and now the election of Pam Bondi.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times.
Pam Bondi's a huge Zionist. Are you forgetting that?
International.
They're going to give you a limited anti-Clinton narrative about Epstein and cover up any involvement Trump had. That's all that's going to happen with Epstein. Don't give me this Epstein bullshit. Talk about how Epstein said he was best friends with Trump if you're going to claim Trump's exposing Epstein. What's up?
Who's openly going after Jeffrey Epstein and talking about releasing those files or something along those lines. You'd have to take away a lot of the American deep states, like intelligence agency corrupt power networks like USAID, for example. Okay. And that would hamstring their ability to corrupt politics and, policy here at home. But you'd also have to deal with what's going on over there and stop them from having this kind of endless war machine kind of excuse to get American tax dollars and to play the victim and to sort of construct this narrative around what's happening in Israel and Palestine. And taking it over for America will do that. It's also the best shot that Palestinians have at actually getting like a real functioning state with an economy, with buildings.
Dude, Are you kidding me? He's actually pretending like this move is going to give Palestinians an actual state. He's going along. This dude was made in a Jew lab. He's really trying to convince you that the Palestinians, there's any chance at all the Palestinians are going to come back and live in peace.
Construct this narrative around what's happening in Israel and Palestine. And taking it over for America will do that. It's also the best shot that Palestinians have at actually getting like a real functioning state with an economy.
See, hey, he's giving you all the reasons. Trump doing this is a good thing, actually. He's not really a Zionist doing all this for Israel. This is actually a good thing. See how he's trying to sell it? He's selling you on Trump giving Israel everything they want. That's what's happening right here.
With buildings, with infrastructure, with food. And let's be clear, I don't think Trump is doing this because he like identifies with the Palestinian Trump struggle. I don't think he's doing this out of like just the goodness of his heart, if he's even doing this. If anything, he would be doing this for his ego and his legacy, which is fine by me. And big if, he actually was doing this to the ends of peace and, defanging Israel, then he would go down in history as one of the greatest presidents in my life.
Oh, actually, he's the greatest president ever because he defanged Israel. Are you fucking kidding me? That's your analysis after yesterday? And the fact that he was in studio at InfoWars just a few days before is just icing on the cake about what's going on here.
For sure, and possibly in American history. I honestly can't think of any other way to actually...
See, Trump's not a Zionist giving Israel everything they want. Actually, Trump's move is genius, and he's the best president in American history. Not the most Zionist president in American history. No, he's actually the best in most America first. You guys just don't get it.
Defanging Israel, then he would go down in history as one of the greatest presidents in my lifetime, for sure, and possibly in American history. I honestly can't think of any other way to actually address the problems of Israel. Like, everyone on here loves to scream about the Jews and loves to
oh, everybody screams about the Jews, but you just don't understand. There's nothing else Trump could do but to take Gaza and kick out the Palestinians and ultimately so Israel can take it. This is so much better optics for Israel that we're taking it first. And then everybody will accept that, and then they'll give it to Israel. Whereas if Trump just got up yesterday and said, America's going to kick out Gaza and Israel can have it, see, everybody would freak out. Even more so than America taking it. But now all of the MAGA shills can try to convince everybody to hop on board that this is actually a good thing. This is actually Trump sticking it to the Zios and Netanyahu. And that's what these fucking lying frauds are spewing all over the internet.
About Israel but do you have a solution? Because I'm not okay with any solution that involves killing Jewish people or
Oh, the only other solution is you guys. What do you guys just want to kill Jewish people? That's how he's framing it. What a false dichotomy. You're either for Trump taking Gaza so Israel could take it, or you want Jewish people to die. That's your dichotomy, Goyim. This is such bullshit.
Most of the solutions, when you really get down to it, end up being genocide in the other direction. And that's not okay. We need a solution that can end the conflict, separate the parties, and basically tell...
There's nothing else Trump could do. The only other option was genocide of Israel. You kidding me? Instigator says, I can't stand this fast-talking BS. I do have him on 1.25. He sounds like he's sucking down enough copium to kill a Q-tard. I saw the retweets and the comments. It's full of trusting the plan Q-tards, clearly. This dude is a douchebag. Parhishia Time says, thanks for another show, Adam. I'm a bit late, so I'll catch the replay. Just wanted to send a little donation. Appreciate you, bro. Means a lot to me. Big Mama gifted a subscription. Haven't seen one of those for a while. Wonder who that goes to.
I want to take a fucking time out. And I can picture, I can imagine, I can optimistically hope that this is potentially a way to do that. And if he was doing that, it would make sense that he had kind of pulled the wool over Bibi's eyes and was playing very nice with Israel all along the way, and still
Oh, he's just been playing, he's pulling the wools over his eyes, and he's just been playing nice, and Netanyahu's so screwed over now, he's totally flustered. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right through the process would sort of force a smile in public and present policies that they can't overtly object to because technically it is what they have to say they want is a peace deal. I mean, it would be pretty ingenious, actually. Now,
it's ingenious.
Is the land partition in any way fair? No, not in the fucking slightest. Is the funding issue with our tax dollars cleared up? No, not in the slightest. He's giving even more money to Israel.
No, it's all totally screwed still.
Best intentions in mind?
The
No,
comments
not
are botted.
I want to hope, but no, not really.
Hold on, more hopium?
Fucking slightest. Is the funding issue
Watch
with our
this.
tax dollars cleared up? No, not in the slightest. He's giving even more money to Israel. And do I really think that Trump has the best intentions in mind? No, not really. I want to hope, but no, not really.
What's all this wanting to hope? Like, if your wife just cheats on you for years on end with your neighbor, and are you just gonna like keep hoping that she really loves you and like she doesn't really care about the guy she's cheating with? You're just gonna keep. How many times are you gonna be cucked by Trump and still hope that he's somehow secretly our guy and on our side? Why?
And even if he pulls all this off, it's still kind of a selfish America-like centric solution to the problem over there. It sort of puts American economic interests above Palestinian lives and interests. You know, there's the whole question of the natural gas and the oil that's over there.
That'll all go to Israel.
Canal that is being talked about.
That's going to go to Israel.
It's a power play. All I'm saying is that it's complicated, and I don't feel like we know what's really going on yet. And unless you've been sitting in Trump's private meetings and know exactly what's inside his head, you probably don't know what's going on either. So
can't know anything, Goyim. Sure, it looks like he's handing over everything to Israel and helping build Eretz Israel and be in their pawn. Sure, it looks like that, but we can't really know. Could be. We could hope. Maybe he's actually really turning on the Zionist.
Stay frosty, question everything, and pray for peace.
Pray for peace. Pray to the Jewish God for peace. Yeah. David Icke says, in retweeting in Ian Carroll, he says, it seems this bloke never sees a Trump policy he didn't want to support, and so often on the basis of the better of two evils. I don't like it, but it's the only way. Who is this guy? Why do the algorithms love him? If you want to stop blood being spilt, stop arming Israel. Stop funding Israel. Stop deleting sanctions on Israeli settlers, violently stealing property in the West Bank. Stop moving towards annexing the West Bank. You can't think of any other plan than U.S. occupation on behalf of Israel? What? David Icke also had a funny one calling out Alex Jones the other day. And Russell Brand invited David Icke on. He's been calling out Russell Brand and all his shilling. Trump claims U.S. will take ownership of Palestine. Let's see. Where did he say the thing about Alex Jones? Here it is, maybe. No. Come on. How much more do I got to... Oh, here it is. 8,000 likes. David Icke says, can't wait for Alex Jones's take on Trump's ethnic cleansing of Gaza. I'll get myself a book, a big one, actually a very big one, while I'm waiting. And then Jones says, you have been asked to come on the show 30 times in the last 6 months. Dead silence. You're welcome to say anything you want. Love you. So he can come on and say anything he wants. What are you going to say about it? I don't watch Alex Jones' show, but somebody told me today that he didn't even mention it in the first hour of the show today. All of this shit. Trump taking Gaza, not a mention of it in the first hour. Should have been the lead story of the show. No mention. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? Jonathan Cahn, Christianity. Let's do John's new video. Goyim Rouse, Rabbi's response to Oslander Rouse. I haven't watched it yet. 6 minutes. And then we will play the new rabbi clips that are, it's a wild one. There's a lot of highlights here. And it's 45 minutes and almost all of it is worth analyzing. So maybe we'll have to save it for the next show, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, here's John Garadis's new epic mix. How's it doing? Almost 20,000 views.
There's no argument that Europe was or is Asav, right? Esav, Edom. So today, Edom is America as well. But the Nazis are of Amalek.
Once Edom is destroyed, along with its false Messiah, then and only then can Israel rise, and Messiah ben David can gather the exiles and build the third temple. And Edom must be destroyed, and the false Messiah must be completely exposed. And once that happens, then the real one actually comes, and then Jerusalem can be built properly.
We have whole books dedicated to the destruction of Edom at the end of days. Until that point, Esav remains, the Edom remains, the church remains the implacable enemy of the nation of Israel.
God will cause that all the nations will gather in the Mechama of Gog u'Magog, which was prophesied by Yechezkel. And the Malbim gives us some information that the Bnei Edom will come to fight with Bnei Yishmael. Now, it's not hard to see how one day there could be a battle between the West and the Muslim world, right? That's not a hard thing to imagine, right? It's basically the stage is set, right? It's only a matter of someone pressing the button.
John apparently got a bunch of B-roll for his last video of Jews dancing, and he used it for some of this one. White Falcon for 20 says, it'll be a classic bait and switch. We babysit Gaza as we fund cleaning and building it. Then Israel will take it over. Not only did we finance the genocide, we financed cleaning up Israel's mess, then reward them with the prime real estate. Bibi kept his mouth shut to look passive, but he orchestrated this. My thoughts exactly. Thank you, White Falcon. You're awesome.
Edom falls to them. They lose. The Western countries lose this war. Yeah.
Like they lost from Vietnam.
No, very much not like that. Because it's all their armies, everybody, their whole sovereignty. Their sovereignty is going to be gone. They will no longer be a superpower. Vietnam didn't affect America as a superpower. Why? Because they destroyed the Second Temple.
And when the Nekama comes down,
what an evil laugh.
When the revenge of Hashem comes down in the world, it comes down on Babylonia, Iraq. Destroys the first temple, comes down on Edom, all over Europe, all over America. It's all part of Edom. It will come down very, very hard for they destroy the second temple.
Wow.
Although there's a freedom and a lot of good things that you can benefit in living in America, at the end of the day, America is still part of what the Torah calls Edom. And Edom, or as Americans pronounce it, Edom,
Edom,
is still the biblical enemy of Yaakov. These are not friends of Israel. They never will be.
Hashem said clearly, I hate Esav. The Jews will take revenge against all the goyim in the world that came from Esav, that tortured them with thousands of years on anti-Semitism. The time for revenge will come. When will it happen? Only when Mashiach comes.
There's Brother Nathaniel. Brother Nathaniel, no! Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Dude, look at these moves.
What I can say is that it's not that God's going to make a special action of destruction in the redemption. That God's going to erase 2/3 of the world, and so to this, that Mashiach is going to, it says he's going to rule over the whole world. So a couple of the commentaries say he's going to destroy all the nations of the world. It doesn't mean that he's going to come and kill them with a rifle, with a gun, and stab them and shoot them and kill them. No. They're going to take away, Hashem's going to take away, and Mashiach's going to take away the ability of having the continuation, of having more kids. And therefore, the world is 2/3 of the world. They're going to be erased.
I like how John is making new mixes with all of the new gems that See Through It All has found. Because, you know, just to keep showing, like, we haven't just found like a handful of a few fringe rabbis or something. Like, we're always finding new clips of them saying wild shit. And to be able to make new compilations with all the new material, beautiful. In a timely fashion, John, amazing job, dude.
Those are conservative,
ultra-Orthodoxes are called Jews, and they choose to like their system and their culture, and they want to keep it that way, and that's their right. Now, do I call that an SS Nazi meeting? Because they're wearing uniforms, they're one racial group, and they believe that they have gotten divine direction from God that makes them special, which I don't have a problem with.
Love it. Yeah, show how Alex Jones is co-signing all of this and not exposed. Hey, remember I told Owen when Owen was on, I'm like, dude, you got to watch this video. Please watch this video. And then it seemed like he showed it to Jones because Jones said it on one of his streams, like, these rabbis are talking about destroying America. He said it one time. You're all about saving America and stopping the New World Order, and you're not going to help raise any attention to the anti-Edom conspiracy prophecies? Where are any of the big anti-Zionist accounts to help raise awareness? Everybody should know about their anti-Edom agenda. We've outed it. There's all the proof in the world at their fingertips, and there's still so many big influencers that are turning a blind eye to it, thus enabling it and are accomplices in the crime.
And I'm not saying that Donald Trump is the anti-Messiah. I'm not saying this. What I am saying to you is that, as you're going to see with me in a moment, God allowed him to be in the office because he is ushering right now the redemption, and he's using as a tool that will lead the entire world into Gog and Magog. Yeah, you heard me correctly this morning. God is going to be using Donald Trump administration to lead Israel and the entire world into Gog and Magog in an expedited way.
The war of Gog and Magog is the end of the world as we know it, but it's also the beginning of a new world. A new world where there is the Mashiach, the Jewish Mashiach, ruling over not just the Jewish people, but over the entire world, whoever survives in it.
The Jewish New World Order. How long are we going to wait for Alex Jones to expose that one? The Jewish Moshiach New World Order. They're not. The Christians won't expose it because they also want a Jewish Moshiach New World Order. They just want his name to be Jesus, and then they want the Jewish king to rule over the earth, just like the rabbis do. That's why they're not exposing it, because they're part of the conspiracy. They're accomplices and agents of the Moshiach matrix. Look at these guys, happy as shit.
15 years ago, Israel was the strongest lobby, if you want to use the word lobby.
Yeah. Everybody share this. We're going to share the link.
Like this. These are great people, Miriam. But the strongest there was, if you said something about a Jewish person or something about Israel that was bad, you were out of politics. I'm here today to tell the Jewish American community that this ugly tide of anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas bigotry and hate will be turned back and crushed starting at noon on January 20th, 2025.
Excellent job. Epic. So good, John. They just keep getting better and better.
There's no argument that Europe...
Hold on. Shoot. I'm trying to get the link so I can share it to you guys. Here we go. It does this when I do the...
is Asav.
There we go. Okay. Sorry. If you guys are on Twitter, I'm sharing the link right now in the Odyssey chat. Everybody, click that, share it, watch it, download it, repost it. Great job, John. Thank you so much for that great work. And shout out See Through It All, too, of course. Wouldn't have been possible with you're suffering to save us all, watching all these insane genocidal rabbis and their prophecies. All right, guys. I'm going to save the rabbi video for tomorrow. I got a debate on Friday, maybe going on Kill Stream with Ethan Ralph. He just messaged me and asked me, fresh out of rehab stream tomorrow. And I may also do the analysis of this rabbi and whatever other developments tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Appreciate you all for the support. Trump and his golden pager. Trump taking Gaza. The copium pills are being handed out and everybody's overdosing. We're taking crazy pills. Hail the old gods. Share the clips. Share the show. Share the links. Educate yourselves. Educate others. The odds are against us. They've got a firm grip on things, but we're going to continue at least trying to be a nail in their side. You guys mean the world to me. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. Snort a green pill, too. Good idea, Jenna. That's a good one. Snort a green pill. All right. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Have a nice night and take care. Thought and conduct. I missed your chat. It says, continue the great work, Adam. Hope you don't mind tagging you in my tweets. Have a great week. I don't always love to be tagged in tweets, but I appreciate the support. Maybe on the good tweets. Maybe not. People that tag all the time gets a little annoying. Let's see here. Valentine Goyette says, can't wait for the soon-to-come videos of rabbis spurging about Trump's army seizing Gaza for the Chosenites. Watcher said if Palestine was a chair, Trump would push it in for being. Very true. Thank you, White Falcon. Huge shout-out, White Falcon. Indomitably based. John Garada, see through it all. Duncan, Boleslaw, Nietzschean Werewolf, Weezin the Juice, White Pagan Club, General Commentary, Volga German, Volkish Spirits, of course, General Commentary, John Fitzgerald, Optics Prime, you guys are amazing. Friendly Misanthrope, The Watcher. See you guys tomorrow. Love you all.